lihat ibu pertiwi sedang bersusah hati. Air matanya berlinang, mas intannya terkenang. Hutan, gunung, sawah, lautan, simpanan kekayaan. Kini ibu sedang lara, merintih dan berdoa. Ku lihat ibu pertiwi, kami datang berbakti. Lihatlah putra putrimu menggembirakan ibu. Ibu kami tetap cinta putramu yang setia, menjaga harta pusaka untuk nusa dan bangsa. Sedang bersusah hati, air matanya berlinang, mas intannya terkenang. Hutan, gunung, sawah, lautan, simpanan kekayaan. Kini ibu sedang lara, merintih dan berdoa. Menjaga harta pusaka untuk nusa dan bangsa. Ku lihat ibu pertiwi sedang bersusah hati. Air matanya berlinang, mas intannya terkenang. Hutan, gunung, sawah, lautan, simpanan kekayaan. Kini ibu sedang lara, merintih dan berdoa. Ku lihat ibu pertiwi, kami datang berbakti. Lihatlah putra putrimu menggembirakan ibu. Ibu kami tetap cinta putramu yang setia, menjaga harta pusaka untuk nusa dan bangsa. Sedang bersusah hati, air matanya berlinang, mas intannya terkenang. Hutan, gunung, sawah, lautan, simpanan kekayaan. Kini ibu sedang lara, merintih dan berdoa. Menjaga harta pusaka untuk nusa dan bangsa. Ku lihat ibu pertiwi sedang bersusah hati. air matanya berlinang, mas intannya terkenang. Hutan, gunung, sawah, lautan, simpanan kekayaan, kini ibu sedang lara merintih dan berdoa. Ku lihat ibu pertiwi, kami datang berbakti. Lihatlah putra putrimu menggembirakan ibu. Ibu kami tetap cinta putramu yang setia, menjaga harta pusaka untuk nusa dan bangsa. Intannya terkenang.
Check, am I audible, guys? Hello. Check. Am I audible? Hi. Hello. Check. Miss Rosa, Miss Rossi. Hello. Mr.
Your voice is audible, Mr. Ku.
Right, thanks ever so much. Hey, because the time for starting this discussion. So, okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Right, hey guys, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. How was your weekend?
It went well, Mr. Ku.
Wow, that's great. So. Okay, I hope, and I guess your weekend is better. Not sad. All right. Today we have interesting topic to be discussed. Talking about LGBT. It is a warming topic. In this case, because we can discuss later and deeper. So before we discuss, I would like to read some rules. Hello, Miss Rosa, your voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Double. I mean, you just joined once. Could you join once?
Okay, this is the different topic. Yeah, I took this because I think this topic is so interesting for our discuss.
No. I mean your signal. Could you join only one account?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I will
Right.
switch off.
Okay, before we talk deeper about LGBT, I would like to read some rules. So I please you to mute by yourself. And the second one, when we want to speak up, you could raise your hand. And also the host or the moderator are capable of cutting your statement if they think that your statement is enough. And also try to be active in the discussion, because we are not smart. The moderator or the host are not smart, but we are learning each other to practice our English, and also we try to be critical thinking to discuss some issues here. So just practice and to be brave, and also to be active and to be brave, to confident to speak English. Okay. And the next one, I please you to raise your hand if you want to give your statement. Could you try to raise your hand? Just make sure that you know what I read before. Could you try to? All right, Miss Rosie, Miss Mawar, right?
Hi, it's me, Mawar.
Okay, that's great, Miss Rosie, Mr. Disney. I got you, Miss Disney. Okay, Mr. Muhammad Nidisi. Okay, thanks ever so much. Okay, for the next, I wish you to lower your hand, and I give the time to Miss Rosa. Time is yours, Miss Rosa. Miss Rosa. Check. Hello,
Hello.
Miss Rosa. Miss Rosa. Oh my God. Okay, we're writing her because her connection is not stable, I think. All right. Where is she? Hello. Miss Rosa. What happened? Okay. Your voice. Hello. Check. Hello, Miss Rosa. Right, you
Okay,
can
Miss
start.
Ro?
Yes.
Yes, you can listen to me because the signal is not so good here.
Okay, you can start. You can start the discussion.
Okay, I'm so sorry before.
Try to introduce yourself, and later I will open the PPT. Can you?
Yeah. Okay, before I'm going to our topic, introduce myself. I am Rosa Rosida. I am from Jambi, and I am in Sumatra. Maybe there is someone there from Sumatra. I'm here.
Yes, I am.
Who are you?
What, Miss?
Where are you
Oh,
from?
from West Sumatra.
Oh, Sumatra.
West.
Then Padang? No?
Yeah. Yes.
Padang.
ma'am. Yes.
I'm from Java, but I teach in Jambi. I know I continue my study in magister, but I don't graduate yet from the magister. Okay, it's all for my introducing. This for our topic today, LGBT, the life and the marriage of lesbian and gay. As you know, LGBT, all of you maybe understand about Lucinta Luna. Maybe you can give some opinion about LGBT and their life. Yeah, Andre said, Mr. Andre, lesbian and gay and gay. Okay, other maybe can explain what is LGBT. Mr. Ku, can you continue the screen in next page? Okay. What do you think about LGBT? LGBT, that's just lesbian and gay. Okay. There is Fitrianti. Fitrianti, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can explain what do you know about LGBT?
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay, Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Miss. I think LGBT is like people maybe like men transgender, the gender from man to woman, and have relationship between he and another guy. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, good. Thanks for your opinion, Miss Vicky. And there is Mio. Who is Mio? Okay, you can explain what is LGBT.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Before that, about LGBT, I'm from last time I'm studying in psychology and my thesis about LGBT. Uh, maybe LGBT about in psychology, it's normal, but in our culture or our country, it's not normal because not not oh what how can say dilarang in our religion. And
Forbidden.
yeah, okay. Maybe about LGBT, it's lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Now about LGBT, I know them have a community about about them, and then LGBT now they hope they can speak up about them, and then LGBT hope they can marry in Indonesia like normal people. Maybe just it, Miss. Sorry.
Miss Rosa, are you there? Hello. All right.
Okay, thank. There is Mr. Andres. Mr. Andres maybe can explain about LGBT.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, I just want to answer this question. Yeah. What I will not answer what is LGBT. But about the thinking about well, it's about the opinion from me to see it. Preliminary, I don't give a huge care about it anymore because it's about the tendency of a person. I mean, like the tendency of the gender from a person is dependent on the experience, on the culture, on the society that they live since they born from their mother. Yeah, from their mother. So uh, talking about the gender and then their interest about sex, um, I mean, like it is a personal matter and it is not quite appropriate to me to give something negativity or maybe positivity about it anymore in the perspective of mine. But when we want to see it as something that related with the religion aspect or maybe about some of the rules that hold by several nations or maybe several regions all around the world, probably we will see that this kind of what tendency is not quite acceptable for them since it is not what something custom uh, around them. So, well, it is quite disputable among the society. But as I said before, for me, it is what something personal, and I will not give a huge care about it. I just see that what do they give for the world, or maybe what do they do for the world, rather than something that is so personal for them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Andres. There is Mr. Tohihu. Okay, you can answer maybe or you can give your opinion about LGBT.
Thank you, Miss. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
So, based on the question, there are several sides of discussion that we can say if we discuss about LGBT, especially from religion and also social or even country generally. But we don't talk about religion because religion is I think is not appropriate to be discussed in here. But socially, LGBT is not really regulated by the regulation in this country. The proof is a lot of views, a lot of LGBT actions, no matter in the real life or even in the online platform, such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and other platforms, appear very clear, showing themselves that they are having LGBT with their couple. But that is no longer something awkward for now because we are often looking at that kind of phenomena every single day on the TikTok, especially if we saw it if we see it in another country, maybe in Indonesia. From the culture, it's not appropriate, but religion in religion, as I said, of course, it is undebatable. God has been created Nisa and also okay, Adam and also Hawa. Okay, man and also woman. Okay, like that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Maybe we can continue in the next page, Mr. Ko.
We still have Miss Rosie. We still have Miss
Oh, there is
Rosie.
Miss Rosie. Okay.
Anissa, yeah.
You can give your opinion to Miss Rosie.
Okay, thanks for this change, Miss Rosa. I want to say that you are brief enough. You can lead the discussion regarding this topic because it's kind of a sensual and sensitive issue for the vast majority of Indonesian people. But first, I will give my perspective in a sociology way. When we talk about same-sex marriage or LGBTs, it's related to sexual orientation, right? And the third gender, like lesbian, gay, transgender, intersex, and the other genders that I cannot mention one by one. And LGBTQ, maybe some of people, some Indonesian people, and also the national curriculum just saw LGBT phenomenon as a social pathology. Uh, I guess that the vast majority of Indonesian people saw this kind of phenomenon as a social pathology, and it's such a disease in our society. They just saw LGBT like a disease, and it can spread to every communities, and they think it's contagious for several communities and should be avoided in our society. And they saw this phenomenon as a deviant behavior, and it should be prevented earlier. So we tend to see LGBTIQ as a deviant behavior for LGBT peoples. Always break the social norms and value in the society. Hence, maybe other people tend to give bad stigma, bad stereotypes, and abusive action to LGBTIQ plus people. Yeah, in this case, I have LGBTQ friends, and I asked them about their identities, and fortunately, they trust me. They trust me and reveal their circumstances. They didn't want to be called as a deviant behavior because it hurts their feeling, right? I asked them why it could happen to you, and they answers like it comes naturally, without any trauma or even personal issues backgrounds. And I'm still figuring about why it still happened to someone without any other reasons. And I don't want to talk anymore about LGBTQ as what else, a social pathology, but I want to tell and give the opinion with another perspective from sociology, LGBTQ as a new social movement. Well, throughout the years, the social imagination of homosexual began shift from deviant behavior that I mentioned before to collective identity. I mean, collective identity. As a result, LGBT becomes a social movement, and you can see a lot of platforms such as Arus Pelangi and Gaya Indonesia. What else? I don't remember the name of the institution, but this kind of institution try to advocate people from bad stigma, bad stereotypes, and maybe for some LGBTQ person, they have discrimination in several aspects of their lives. And also this institution trying to embrace the victims who get abusive action from homophobic people. This movement becomes massive over the years, and they are also supported by, I know they are also supported by feminist feminist group, feminist movement and gender activists who try to speak loud about human rights. In conclude, I saw this phenomenon as a social movement, not a social pathology. But still, I have strong principle and what I believe as a Muslim. I do not justify this kind of action, even though my friend is being an actor of these circumstances. Yet I accept and treat them as a human being. I think that's enough, Miss Rosa.
Okay, thank you for your explaining so long and so much. Okay, Mr. Ku, you can continue
Still have one, Miss Anissa.
the screen. Oh, Miss Anissa, okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, the LGBTQ, in my opinion, is consists about the choices of people, despite of any of religious rules in our country. Most of religions in our country mostly didn't allow it, and it's inappropriate because of it's not like any other kind of relationships that might be people or humans must be ongoing to. But despite of the religion sides, I believe that LGBTQ is about the choices, and then when people choose to be an LGBT part, it's because of their choices to be free. And then it's mostly about the human rights. And then the part of LGBTQ also consists about the media itself. Media nowadays have a significant part to declare or demonstrate about LGBTQ itself, because of you know that the society is really sensitive about it. Like Mr. Rossi said before, it's very sensitive in our behavioral and then in our society. But actually, there it is. There it is about the LGBTQ since many long time ago, and then we cannot rely on the fact that LGBTQ is exists until now. So what I want to say is about LGBTQ is really there, and then we live together with them, and then please don't be give them a stigma, because this is actually not their choices to be the LGBTQ, but actually they just feel it. They just feel different about it, and I know some of my friends also, they feel so embraced about it, and it must be have a more bravery to to uh, to confess it to their family, to their friends, and then to their society. It's really a bravery part of the humans to become a LGBTQ part. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's enough. Maybe Mr. Ku can continue the screen. Okay, Mr. Ku. Mr. Ku.
I've been moved. I've moved.
Okay. Is LGBT life like a rainbow? That we know LGBT, that's the sorts from lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Okay, especially for Lucinta Luna. Maybe one of you love Lucinta Luna, that she is transgender. We can mention he or she. Okay, next. Mr. Ku,
Pardon? Hello.
you can,
Check. Hello.
yeah, you can continue the next page. That's lesbian. Lesbian is a woman who is physically and romantically star to other women. As we know, maybe you have friend or in your society, they have the different life, maybe as lesbian, because I have a little experience when I in one boarding school. I cannot mention what it is. I stay in college, so there is my friend. She loves me. She loves me, and that's I feel not so good for my life. Then I move from her, so I go far because I'm not so comfortable for her activity when she more close to me, but it's it's disturbing. That's same also with guy. Do you know guy? That means you attract to people that same gender. Man loves to men, and there is bisexual. That's romantic attraction, sexual attraction, or sexual behavior toward males and females or to more than one gender. And the last is for transgender people have a gender identity or gender expression that differs from the sex that they were assigned at birth. Okay, all of you maybe can explain more about this definition about joy, or you have some experience about this case. Hello? Okay, there is from Miss Rosie, that's trans one. Miss Rosie, are you there?
There is someone has raises their hand. Miss Anissa, Mr. Andres, Mr. Januar. Miss Rosa, could you try to check? Yeah, someone who has raises their hand.
Okay. That's Mr. Januar.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, you can explain.
Yes. Thank you for the time given by Miss Rosa about this. For the first, I think I just want to give some short explanation about the LGBT in the real life, especially from the community of gay or lesbian or bisexual. from experience that I have faced before, which I watch it from the TV shows. Maybe some of you still remind about the one of the TV show that invited some LGBT community, and then they gave an explanation, the reason why they choose to be like that, because especially they were also supported by the human rights organization also. And some of them just I still remembered what some of them say that they choose that because in a normal in a normal romantic love, just like a man to woman or the woman to the man, is kind of hurt, some of kind of dilemma. So they don't want to be I mean, they don't want to, what this mean, stuck in that, and then they finally choose to be love to yes, love to the same sexual, just like theirs. Just an example, a man love to the another man because this man is, if this man love to another woman, there will be such a dilemma romantic. So this man actually finally, I finally, this man have a decision to choose another man to be loved. And then the second reason why they feel like this, because in our society community, there are so many problems. That problem is so complex. There are some come from their family, because some their life pressure, and then finally decided to be this community. I think just enough from my explanation. Maybe there is another one who have a complete explanation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There is Mr. Daniel. Okay, Mr. Daniel.
Then, okay, thank you, Miss Rosa, for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think your definition about lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender is correct enough. And I, as a part of LGBT community, I would like to answer the question, is LGBT life like a rainbow? So according to my experience, it is not, especially in this country, because there are still so many people who don't understand what is homosexuality and transgenderism. And some people assume what LGBTQ people live their way because of their own decision. So what I am going to tell you is that homosexuality and transgenderism is not a lifestyle. Therefore, a human being cannot choose what is. And therefore, it is not because someone is bored or stuck with one gender and then they prefer to try uh, another gender to love or to have sex with. It doesn't work that way because the WHO has declared that LGBT homosexuality and transgenderism is no longer a disease and it is not a lifestyle. So it is a natural phenomenon and the science can explain it. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. But is there in our country if we know in other countries, in Thailand or USA, in Malaysia, it's so many person they are LGBT. Okay, enough thanks for Mr. Daniel and now Mr. Andres. Mr. Andres.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. Maybe it's only happen in my opinion, maybe that pops up in my mind. I mean, like, I will not give any definition about lesbian, gay, not gay, gay, bisexual, and transgender since I'm a normal guy, not a gay. It's quite hilarious when I hear that. Well, but something that I wanna say here is about how I answer this kind of question. The preliminary is: are their life really like a rainbow? Since rainbow itself is the diffraction from the light when they meet the water, and they will show many colors in the air when after rain. Oh, maybe something that happens. Maybe gonna be quite metaphoric about it. It's are their life really colorful when they do it? So it's gonna be like a question. Maybe their life will be quite dramatical since it is not acceptable for many custom or maybe many culture, or maybe not accepted by many religions or perhaps the health science. Well, their life will be dramatic because they try to make a revolution. But how if their what revolution is accomplished? So the whole of people are LGBT or maybe accepting LGBT. So their life will be normal. So their life will be not colorful again. So is it will it? I mean, is it a rainbow? Yes, it will be a rainbow as long as our culture not accepting them. But when we don't but if we accept it accept this kind of concept, the rainbow concept will be disappear since it's gonna be black and white and normal again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Andres. There is Miss Mon.
Yeah,
Okay, Miss Mon.
actually, yeah. Is my sound clear? Is that okay? Is my sound clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Actually,
Okay.
I just wanna share my experience about my friend. Yeah, she's have a life problem. It's really really tough. So I think the things which triggered her to be an LGBTQ people because her trauma about her father. So she had him so much, and yeah, she changed her gender to be a man, but she doesn't want to called by him or her again. We just call her they or drama. I don't know how to call her in Indonesian. She doesn't want me to call her mbak or sis anymore. But actually, my heart is breaking. You know, it's reached my heart so much because she was my friend, my close friend. I'm not sure how to help her. And I wonder, I'm sorry, I just want to know from Mr. Daniel Down perspective, um, if I wanna, like cure one of gay people, is that possible? I mean, like I would like to accept him and be his wife because I feel pity them, not pity them, like I want to cure one of them because I know there's some problem behind it to trigger LGBTQ people. I'm not sure should I do this or not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's for your your friend experience, yeah. Okay, and now, Mr. Ko, you can change the screen.
We still
Next
have Miss
page.
Lisa and Miss Rosie.
Oh yeah. Okay, okay. Miss Rosie.
Okay, is my voice audible? Hello,
Yeah.
Miss Rose.
Yes, clear.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned before that in the previous slide about LGBTIQ plus, their life isn't beautiful as such a rainbow, right? I just mentioned that LGBTIQ people always got bad stigma from people who near or close to them, and they also got the discrimination in several aspects of life, and some of people or the actor of LGBTIQ is also got abusive action from the homophobic people. So that's why the institution of LGBTIQ or the gender activists try to speak a lot about human rights regarding these issues, and this movement becomes massive over the years, and they also supported by uh, the others activists such as the feminist groups and the other gender activists. So the life of LGBTIQ people is not beautiful enough as a rainbow that I said before. Thanks for the change, Miss Rosa.
Okay, thank you. There is Miss Anissa, yeah? Oh, Miss Anissa. Okay, you can
Okay,
tell.
thank you, Miss Rosa. I just want to share my friend of mine experience about how he became a gay. Uh, Actually, when we were college, uh, he was tried and he in relationship with a girl. The girl also is my friends. They both are my friends, but actually something might be different with the boy. When most of us in our circle always see him differently, like the way he treat each other, and then the way he talking, and then the way he see the man, and then something like that. And then what I want to say is being LGBTQ is not about the religions. It's not about how religious people it is, but actually because my friend, my friend who is gay, he is really a religious person. I can say that he is a religious person because he never leave a prayer 5 times per day, and he always, yeah, his personality is really good, and no one will wonder that he is gay before. And then when we were graduated from college, he moved to Bangkok, Thailand, and then he worked there, and then he expressed it, and then he just confess it that he is gay. So all of us never shocked before, because we already know, because if he is, yeah, but he is more comfortable with his personality right now. So when I can say is LGBT life like a rainbow, I think it's not a rainbow. In the depends on where you live in, because sometimes in one country you can be get a stigma, and then in another country you can be accepting by the people around you. And then, yeah, I think the rainbow itself, it must be a questioning another questions, because, yeah, rainbow itself, it is a symbol of freedom, or it is have a meaning behind it. So that's all my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's enough, yeah, for the explanation from our friends. And now, Mr. Cook, can you move or change the screen? Okay. Every human being has the right to decide their own gender, agree or disagree. Men as woman. Every human being has the right to decide their own gender. That we know before, if people they born from the baby to be a child, and they decide what they want to be, man or woman. Okay, Mr. Yanwar, you
Okay,
can
thank you.
explain. Yeah.
Thank you. The times given by Miss Rosa for this question. I decided to not follow but this opinion, or maybe I could say disagree, because according to my beliefs, according to my what I believe, God has created us to be men or women. So we could not determine ourselves to change to the other sexual, except if we have a birth, we have another just unnormal. Maybe there is somebody who has birth with a both of gender. If she or he grows up, then some of what some of the what is attitude is condong. What is mean condong? His attitude
And
goes to the man or woman. So uh, she or he could be changed the gender because because a normal condition. I think that's from my answer.
Okay, thank you. I see there is Miss Niza. Yeah, you can explain, Miss Niza.
For the opportunities. Am I audible?
yeah, clear, Miss Nisa.
Okay, Miss Niza.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in my point of view, I think uh, I agree with this statement. I mean, not it doesn't mean that um I'm pro to someone who are change their sexual orientation or change that gender, but for me, really disagree if our society give discrimination to them because as we know, I know that as a normal person who have a normal sexual orientation, I know that it doesn't mean that we are the best person in this earth, so we have a right to give discrimination or mock them in our society because as you know guys, when our society did that, it makes them harder to seeking for psychologist or maybe doctor who, who are, as we know that they are a group who actually have more, as we know, as a sexual transmitted disease. So when our society try to give them discrimination, it makes them harder to seek for healthcare and also psychologists or maybe psychiatric to get therapies. So yeah, because in our country, I think the phenomena of transgender or LGBT is like an iceberg phenomenon. So it's like a phenomena gunung es because it's look like taboo in our society, but actually many cases happen, but it's not uh, terlihat in the surface
Okay.
like that. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I see there is my twin sister there, Miss Rosie. Okay. Reza, do you agree with this statement, Miss Rosie?
I mean like this about Indonesian in our country about LGBT. I don't agree about it because we know it's not true and it's not us.
I mean,
Al-Quran and Hadith was written in the Al-Quran and Hadith. I don't agree about it because it's not. It's run over from Allah rules, and I think in society they will be looked at a half of ace. I mean, I believe all of them, all of normal human, they aren't agree about it. So from religion, society, and other, of course, it will be disrupt our environment. I think it's like that because as we know in our prophet before, that's whose prophet maybe I'm forget about Nabi before Muhammad. That's was learning about LGBT before. It's the example, but Allah give us the punishment. It's for the example. So we know in this era 4.0, in this era 4.0, of course there are money and it's legal in other country, but in Indonesian also in Bali there is a part, not all of them, but a part of them they do it. I think it's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay. A little from you, Miss Rosie, you said that hermaphrodite, the meaning is bencong or
Yes, I
banji,
see.
hermaphrodite. That's disrupt. But in other side, they are make us funny. I mean, they are entertainment.
It's
As
the meaning run over
Mr.
from
Ko
product.
said,
Oh, Mr. Kuset, it's funny. I think it's what is bullying. You know bullying because it's not their
okay, your
self,
signal
but
is not
other self. We know hermaphrodite is running over from Allah Qodrats, and it's not true in our religion. I'm sorry for other religion because I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslimah, so I disagree about it. So I feel pity about their self from we look them their self are boy, but why do they must change their in
gender.
what's penampilan? I'm forget what's the mean in other gender.
Okay, thanks,
So I think
Miss
I
Rosie.
disagree about it, but I feel pity. Sometimes we don't we forbid them
Firstly, we must forbid them. Why? We must support them. I think it's not good idea. It's not good idea. If they are boy, so we must support them in order they to be their self, they to be their self, not in other gender. As their gender only, not other. If they are boy, they must doing activity and everything as boy, not a human, not a woman. I'm sorry. I mean, not a woman. To be a girl, I dislike it and I don't support it.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rosie. Next,
Okay, welcome.
okay, for your explanation. And now there is Mr. Sohi. Okay,
Am I audible?
yeah.
Thank you. In this position, I choose to be disagree with this statement. In literature, in my major especially, I learned about how to genderize something. So a lot of science, basically we can see to genderize something, the object exactly. For example, if we see the object with the color, maybe the color tends to the man, for example, like the let's say the animal, we tend to divine that the tiger tends to be very manly, so we can genderize it to be a man. And also, despite this definition, we can also find another example, like we genderize pink. For example, pink is the color for woman, for example, yeah. So that can be genderized as a woman. But in my disagreement, I could say that human has already designed to show that they are a woman or man. Okay, the sign is already exists in our body, right? Or even there are several people choose to do transgender. Okay, so their sign is gone, for example. So naturally, that is still supported to the first created of them. So if they were born as a man with that kind of sign, it means they will be men, absolutely, because the sign is very clear. Okay, same as the woman. The woman has their own sign, which is very, very different with the man. So in genderizing something, the object, there will be sign that we can see socially. Yeah? We don't talk about the religion, but it's about how to genderize something based on the sign or even based on the things that appears in some objects. We could directly divine or genderize the object by the appearance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, Mr. Daniel. Okay, Mr. Daniel.
Okay, is it for me? Ini bukannya yang lain udah duluan angkat tangan, mungkin mereka dulu.
Mr. Andres.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. Before I answer about do they have the right or they don't have any right, but preliminary we need to answer about the possibilities of them for doing it. I know that the male and female has the different gene of code, and because of it, sometimes, not sometimes, most of them cannot produce what specific hormones that will make the sexual orientation pops up. I mean, like this. When someone has born as a male, normally they will produce a sufficient number of the testosterone hormone, and they will make the pheromone to attract to have an attraction to for sexual orientation towards some female and vice versa. The female has the estrogen and estriol, estrogen, and any kinds of their hormonal what hormone that will make them what has the tendency to love towards the male, and it's something that happens in the normal life, and it creates the custom and the culture that prohibited the LGBT in our current life. But how if the people, I mean, some kinds of the new creatures that made by the CRISPR that make male could create the estrogen or estrogen that normally happen in the female and vice versa, that female can produce the testosterone that will make them feel for what make this kind of conduct, I mean LGBT, could be happen naturally. So it's gonna be like a new disputable life since we begin from their new life and we create a new life in this one. So we'll talk about the ethics because it's not quite appropriate for our current game of rule. I mean, like religion or maybe the governmental constitution. So when we talk about the possibilities in the normal current life, we could say that normally cannot, but sometimes when they are in some seems like in the some not experiment environment or the condition that could be happen, but I cannot share about it since it's only in my what hypothesis and in only in my assumption, but maybe it could be happen since we see that in fact it is happen for a few of the people. So is it what well enough for us to make a right or not right to them to make for them for choosing their gender? I mean like this. Do anyone in this world want to live in this world? I mean like this. Maybe for some of people disappointed about their life because oh my god, I want to be a female, but suddenly I am being a male. Seems like this kind of the what ideas. How if someone feels about it, do they have the right for doing it? So when we want to talk in the libertarian what position, they have the right for thinking about it, but do they have the right for doing it? It's gonna be controversial when they try to do it. So we will back to the first thing about the right itself. Will we talk about the religion or will we talk about the constitution that happened in the certain area or maybe certain nation, or will we talk about the humanity itself? So in my opinion, it will be disputable since of the level of the what the rule life game that we want to say here. I mean, like, do they have the right for doing it? I will say that it's dependent on the regulation that that is hold or maybe that is uh, being the basement of the argumentation of the debate or maybe in the code of the justice.
Gloria, Miss Gloria.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, Miss Gloria. Is your voice clear?
Maybe there is trouble with her connection.
And just to clarify the questions
Miss Gloria, your connection is not is unstable. We cannot hear your voice.
Okay, Miss Gloria, we cannot.
has the right to decide.
Okay, we came to Miss Niza. Miss Niza.
I'm sorry, I forget to lower my head.
Okay. Okay, Miss Niza.
You can choose the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Daniel, yeah? The last one.
Sorry for my bad connection, sir.
Okay.
Is it audible right now?
Hello, Miss Gloria. Miss Gloria.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, your voice is clear.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So just to clarify the questions, every human being has the right to decide their own gender. Is that the questions? Because yeah, I just joined. Oh, okay. To my point of view, every individual actually should have the right to, decide whether the sex they're gonna have is man or women. This is you know trying to not to put any religion or any nationality or other identity for sure. And I know for yeah, I know that some groups might argue that this might results kind of instead of letting let's say LGBTQ instead of letting them having that right, but harassing the other communities, better to to not let them get that right. But for me, I think there is no such proof that this group's gonna give any disease in the future events. And I think what I think also cluster or any regulations that happen by flexible embrace the current society, the current anything happen in a society. For instance, if they, I mean, if in the past, perhaps women tend to be picturing us at the inferior one, and perhaps they have kind of limits when it comes to the curfew. But now I think men also will let them to not to limit any activity in order to give also a time and space for women to be better one and the better I don't want to say position, but it seems like have equal equality considering all of those reasons, I think I will definitely I will definitely agree to say that any individual should have the right to choose whether they're gonna. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then Miss Salma.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity. So personally, for me personally, I'm cool with LGBT. Well, I'm not saying that I support nor refuse this movement, but I believe that, you know, beside of someone's religion or someone's culture that they believe, I'm speaking in general, LGBT is somewhat part of human revolution. You know, like we can't deny that we always grow, and there are a lot of aspects that influence us, influence how people think, and finally this way of think grow up as something that we believe and become an output by an action, and finally it is grow and build us mentally become a principle. So if the question is every human being has the right to decide their own gender, the answer is obviously not. Because like we all know that we cannot choose what gender we want to be because it has credit even since we were born. But if the question was what color, do every human being has the right to show what color they want to show, then the answer is obviously yes. Because, you know, this is part of the society, and as long as they are responsible to what they decide, as long as they didn't harm other people, and as long as they still be able to they still can be the good citizen, then for me, yeah, it is fine. If they want to, you know, if they want to still hold on their right and hold on their belief. So I think that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. There is Mr. Tommy Musdawan.
Hello everyone. Hello Mr. Ku.
Okay.
I see your big smile tonight. Okay, Ms. Rosa, I think the question is very challenging, yeah, to answer because it seems like a provocative question, right? Okay, before I answer this question, I will give you some opinion about this one. Yeah, if we have a car and then in the same time Mr. Who driving his Harley Davidson, and then we want to go to in the same place. For example, if we want to go to Puncak Bogor, right? I am using my BMW, and then Mr. Who using his Harley Davidson. So if Mr. Who want to drive you to what we call a highway road to make the to take the faster way to get the Puncak Bogor. I think if Mr. Ku enter to highway road, they will be catch with police, right? So I think this question seems like that, yeah. If it is not about the human being, or is it not about the freedom? Yeah, it is not about the what we call humanity, and you have the personal decision, and you can doing everything what you want. I think you can doing what you want, but please ensure your what you do is not break the rule, yeah. You must obey the rule, actually apply it in your location. If your country is very restricted about this one, so I think this is same as Mr. Hu using Harley Davidson and enter the highway route, I think. So to answer this question, I think you can decide agree or disagree, but please consider about that one. It's if you are maybe you have the decision to agree or disagree, depend on your opinion. But other people have the what we call mindset, yeah. Fixed mindset about this question. So if your religion or if your culture is stricted about this question, I think we can choosing the situation to consider. We will have the good quality of life, so we must ensure our your Harley Davidson cannot entering the highway road, I think. So I can make the conclusion I disagree about LGBT, right? Miss Rosa, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, you can open the next page, Mr. Ku.
We still have 3 participants who have raised their hand.
Okay. Before we going to the next page, there is Mr. I'm sorry, Mr. Daniel, yeah?
Okay, thank you, Miss Rosa. Before I answer the question, I think I want to make sure that there is a big difference between gender and sex. Sex is a biological term to describe our physical traits. So there are only two, not two actually, could be three. There are 3 sex in this world that the scientists have found. The first one is male, the one with penis, and then female, the one with vagina, and the third is the intersex individuals, the one that have more than one genitals, or that the body um, doesn't belong to female or male classification. So if the question is every human being has the right to decide their own sex, then it is not. The sex is given naturally and biologically by God, if you believe in God. So we cannot choose if we were born as a female, if we were born with vagina, or we were born with penis. We cannot choose that. But if you ask me, every human being has the right to decide their own gender, then yes, we can be anyone. We can wear any dress we want, regardless what we in our pants. You know what I mean? So gender and sex are two different things. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you to Mr. Daniel. And this me, Nurlita. Okay, you can explain, Miss Nurlita.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, thank you for the time. My opinion about LGBT, totally I'm disagree because uh, I believe that God created us as a boy and girl, and the point is that LGBT destroys life. And I have children, and I will protect my children from being LGBT because I have friends. He LGBT. He tells me about his world, but he gets is a distraction. Maybe happy in the beginning, but in the end, it's hard. So I think I'm totally disagree about LGBT. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe it's let's continue to our next screen.
We still have one,
Mr.
Mr.
Abi, you can
Abi.
explain.
We still have one, Mr. Abi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. So if I have to choose the agree or disagree, of course I will disagree for this question. But because we have another nation here, and yeah, of course we have we have a region rule, and we have the region system in Indonesia in Indonesia exactly. So with the rule, will make our life better. And if this question said to other country or other culture, maybe for the culture in the Thailand, yeah, this is no problem. But if this question for our Indonesian people is will be a big problem. And I believe Indonesian people will disagree about this case. That's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We can continue to next screen, Mr. Ku. Okay. Gender equality is one of our human rights as human beings. The right to live in honor, free from fear, and free to make life choice is not only intended for men. Women also have the same rights in ISIS. Yes or no? From this judgment, maybe there is other opinion about this judgment. If we know from the gender
Mr.
between boy and woman, they have the different bodies, but they have the same equality. Okay, next page.
Mr. Andres already rises. Miss Rosa?
Yeah.
Is it clear, the
We
screen?
can, yeah. Oh, no, moment. There is Miss Gloria. Miss Gloria.
Can you back to the previous slide? Just want to say something for that.
What else?
So the perfect, yeah, the next one.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, just a bit, opinions. I think if it comes to the questions, everyone, I assume that they're gonna say yes, but um, there are two things that I want to emphasize here. Perhaps this is not only about the right of the gender in human, but also I think we should also consider the animals and plants that perhaps we can have different attitude toward I don't want to say that we should have an equal, or maybe if you are um what to say, like agree with such
okay, Miss Gloria, enough.
not methodology, but there is an yeah. So yeah, let me make it clear. So the first one, I think it is should be also considered that not only the right of humans, whether you you know um, agree with LGBTQ and everything, but also you should also consider the plants, the animal also, and even though you agree with um, gender equity should be yeah, you agree and you say yes, but to implement that one um, in our society, I think it's such homework, a big homework for us, because in fact, even um, in this era, I think so many curfew for women that actually limit the way that you want to grow up, Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Gloria. Next, why they choose it? Okay, there is Mr. Abi.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I wanna see the previous page about yeah, maybe this mean is emancipation of women. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think before we're thinking about this case, our countries or our government have already have a notes or a basic role in Indonesian, because yeah, of course, Indonesia granted in the basic law, and you can see the law in the Undang-Undang Dasar chapter 29 and 28, and this mentioned women and men have the right to life and freedom from discriminatory treatment on any basis, and are entitled to protection against such as discrimination treatment. So this caption is, yeah, I agree. I really agree about the emancipation of women or the gender equality in our life.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to Mr. I know about why they chose it. Maybe there is Mr. Andres can explain. Why
Yes.
one
Yeah.
choose
I can
LGBT?
I can read it. Well, thank you for this opportunity. Uh, I will. I hope that I will not make it what complicated, but just make it simple. Maybe they feel unsatisfied with their current gender, so they choose it. Maybe so because they feel unsatisfied that I've mentioned before. So they try to choose the other path, and they feel that that is quite satisfied for them, and they consistent in it, so they will face a happy life. But vice versa, I mean, but oppositely, how about the satisfaction from the for their partner? Are they really satisfied with their with that kind of life or not? But as long as both of them are quiet, what satisfied with with that kind of the relationship, I suppose that okay, they are freely to choose it, because they have the freedom for choosing it. If the rule of game that that they live, maybe in the governmental level or maybe in the religion, what perspective are agree with that. But if they don't have any religion, so it's gonna be dependent on the constitution that they live. uh, uh, what is it really legally for them for do that kind of the relationship or not? So why they choose it? Because they have knowledge, they have brain, they have the what the ability for decide it. So because of this, they can choose it. And why they choose it, I suppose that it's related with the satisfaction level of their current situation, based on their reality facing their sex that they gain when they are born from their mother. So because they are unsatisfied, they tend to choose it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Andres. We can continue the next page because still there is some page. Okay, Mr. Can you change the screen because
Is it clear, Miss Rosa?
okay. Lifestyle and behavior of LGBT. We know if their life is not so healthy, they do what they want, but they don't care about their society, and their life be happy as they want. Okay, what do you think about this picture? That's in first picture there is the lesbian left, and the second picture there is the guys left. Maybe Miss Salma.
Miss Salma?
Miss Salma.
All right. I appreciate the time. Well, the lifestyle and behavior of LGBT. Well, actually, I'm not really fond of people who say that this kind of lifestyle is not healthy, and maybe some of people assume that this kind of lifestyle is somewhat very harmful. For me, like, we cannot assume that all people who decided or who choose to be an LGBT, like maybe gay or lesbian or transgender, anything, we cannot assume that all people who choose this way of their life is give a harmful or like bad influence or negative influence to their society or even to their personal life. for me, that this action is, again, like what I've mentioned before, is an output according to the principle that finally grow in them mentally, and this just happen naturally. And for me, like, if they already choose that, if people think that they are not like don't like socialize with other people, like they hide their identity and they still stay away from the environment and stuff, it is because the society itself, it is because the environment itself who doesn't want to accept them, who doesn't want to understand them and give their chance to show their real color. So yeah, I think we should just respect to others and no judgment. I think that's all the point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Tommy. I back to you, Mr. Tommy.
Okay, thank you for the chance. For me, I think, yeah, whether you are man or women, and you are lesbian or you are a gay, you will have the same style and behavior with the normal people, right? So you can love each other, you can doing your daily activities, you can go to the restaurant, and then you can maybe you can having a child, right? Because I know maybe in the UK you can even though you are a gay, you can have a child, and the rule in there is prepared about that one. So I think the lifestyle and the daily activities is not different with the common people. But however, I think this is not, yeah, back to Mr. Who with Harley Davidson, right? I think Mr. Who will choosing helicopter, yeah, because if you will meet someone in the sky, you can avoid the traffic, yeah, you can avoid the what we call jalur, yeah, pathway. So I think why they have consideration to get this life, yeah, this, I think this is not the forbidden love, right? So I think maybe they have, I propose two items, yeah. First, perhaps they have the what we call shock in previous life, for example, shock in the emotional life. So they have the unstable decision about their feeling from the partner. So maybe after that they have a different way. They choose the different way with the now common people. And the second one, perhaps why they choose this lifestyle and then the behavior. I think this is not, this is about the surrounding friend they choose, and maybe they have the interaction, daily interaction with someone, have the maybe, yeah, word I think word opinion about this one. So I think if you decide to following them, I think maybe step by step you will be following. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tommy. Mr. Ko, you can continue the screen because the time will be over.
Is it clear about achievement?
Okay, from this picture, we know from the life of transgender or LGBT, they use this event to make the contest of waria or hermaphrodite. Okay, this is a achievement, or maybe there is the benefit or harm. You can explain how can hermaphrodite achievement can be benefit or harm. There is Mr. Andres. Or I'm sorry, before Miss Nurlita, she is first.
Mr. Andres dulu aja.
Oh, Mr. Andres, okay. Please, Mr. Andres, time for you. Time is for you.
Oh yes, thank you for this opportunity. Anyway, in which achievement that we are talking about? Is it about the Miss Universe competition, or about the achievement in the scientific level, or is it the achievement in the regulational, or maybe a constitutional, or maybe the establishment, or maybe in the military level? In which achievement that we are talking about here? Thank you.
Okay. Miss Nurlita, maybe?
I'm not ready. Maybe the next Mr. Andres can see.
Yes, I haven't done. So maybe if this is not quite definable, so I will share the whole of my ideas about the wide range of the achievement that we are talking about, and about the harmful or maybe the harmless from each of them. Preliminary about the achievement in the Miss Universe level, I will say that about the how to say duta ambassador, yeah, about the ambassador of the hermaphrodite. Yeah, ambassador from the hermaphrodite. I think it's a personal matter, and I will not discuss about it because they have their own fan and they have their own tendency and interest in it, and they do it for fun and they have a happy life in it. But when we talk about the harmful from it, I see that it's not quite harmful, yeah, because they feel happy in it. But if that share maybe a certain kinds of medical issue, maybe I'm not a practical in the medical issue, but if that could share the possibilities in the disease, some disease in the sexual life, maybe maybe it's gonna be a harmful kind of conduct. So maybe the provement of it based on the medical issue that will prove is that conduct is really harmful for from them. Secondly, about the achievement in the in other side of the what ambassador about ambassador of the hermaphrodite, I'm gonna say that everyone could achieve anything on their life, maybe about the achievement in the scientific level, about the academics, about their research, about their what career path, or the military level, maybe, or in the governmental level. So everyone, every gender, every sex could do that because they are a normal human. They can think, they have a conscious to do it, and they have the right for do it and try and struggle to achieve it and share the huge beneficiaries for the whole of the humankind. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Andres. Okay, next page, Mikrin. Okay, lesbian and gay married. How can lesbian and gay married? What do you think about it? Or maybe when they have married, they will have baby. Okay, there is Mr. Abi.
Yeah, thank you, Miss. Mm, I have a different opinion about yeah, LGBT like achievement, got married, and the others. In my opinion, as a scientist for psychology, and we need to respect each other, yeah, because of course they have a different thing, and we need to thinking out of the box with our rule in Indonesia, of course. If we see with perspective, other perspective in, yeah, maybe a psychology. So I think this is one case difficult to explain, because or we cannot to blame or to fire her, to fire they about their habit or their behavior. So the key of word is respect each other, and one key, we need to think out of the box. So if they can put themselves to the to the exact place, to the right place, I think this is not problem. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Daniel.
Okay. Yes, lesbian and gay marriage. I think it's okay for them to get married, but I'm not supporting them to be married in Indonesia because the first one, it is not regulated in our country. So I'm suggesting that anyone who wants to have a same-sex marriage should go to Europe, for example. And if they will they have baby, well, it will depends on them. But biologically, they cannot have baby. Of course, we know that. But they can adopt a child from poor parents. There are so many children in Africa, even in our country, that doesn't have parents, that don't have food, don't have house to live, don't have proper education, and they need our help. So if the gay and the lesbian people want to have children and help them, I think it is the best way to help those poor children to be adopted to be their children. I think that's how the best way if they want to make a family. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cool, you can change the screen because the time will be over. Okay. In fact, the morning case marriage come to the U.S. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that same-sex marriage is illegal right across the United States. In 10 states plus Washington, D.C. now allow case marriage. Here is where the fight for marriage equality in the USA. Okay, what do you think about this statement? If in Indonesia there is the legality of marriage uh, from the same-sex same-sex marriage, because how many time ago we know in Bali there is place that used for some sex marriage. Okay, maybe from Miss Rosie.
Okay, Miss Rosa, I think regarding this question about same-sex marriage, I would say that the institution of marriage. Is my voice audible, Miss Rosa?
Yes,
Yeah.
clear.
Well, okay, Mr. Ku. Okay. Well, I just want to define the marriage itself. The institution of marriage has traditionally defined as being between a man and marriage is for giving an affection to take care family members and got reproduction function, right? And in same-sex couple should be prohibited from marriage because they cannot produce children together. If so, it should be helped by high technology, as Mr. Daniel Down said in the comment. If they want to adopt a child, it's confusing based on my perspective, yeah. It's confusing the children about the status and role of their fathers and their mother. Same-sex marriage just create a new family dysfunction that will affect in the future for the children characters and the personality. Yet it is just my temporary argument. And I think in this state or this country, Indonesia cannot give a chance to legal the same-sex marriage due to the strict policy of marriage and the cultures and the social norm itself. And for the instant, if I forgot it. For the instant, if the gays couple try to adopt a child, maybe the children will be, for instance, if the children got the first period of menstruation, who can that educate the children to explain the menstruation itself, because their parents is are men. I think it is my thought of same-sex marriage. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Because the time will be over, you can change the screen, Mr. Cool. While they marriage, is it different disease? How can government legalize it? What is the impact from this question? Maybe all of you have answered what the close statement from the question and why they marriage, because they have reason why they marriage and disease. And then how can government legalize it? If in Indonesia no legalitas for LGBT marriage, but in other country we can see in USA, in Thailand, in Malaysia, in Philippines, and other. And we have some culture that's have the big impact that's negative and positive. We know from the negative impact, the negative effect is more than the positive impact. As maybe from the negative, just one, as like what achievement, and then for so much and more adding like that. But in the last page, you can continue to Mr. Cool. In other set, we know that we cannot stop to be LGBT because LGBT is the given disease that we can get the medicine of the healthy from the LGBT human. Okay, there is Mr. Andre. Maybe will add the close statement or opinion, maybe.
Is it me or Mr. Andre, the other person?
Andres, I'm sorry, Andres.
Oh, me. Thank you. Yeah. About your question before. I mean, how something could be legalized, it's dependent on the perspective that accepted by the both institution that hold by a nation, that those are the executive and the legislative institution, and they agree about the plan of some kind of the institution, and when they agree it and they accept it as the regulation, so it's gonna be legalized. So the problem is how to make their perspective to agree about the LGBT. That is the homework if someone want to make it happen. Uh, but here about what about the marriage, why they choose it. As I said before, they feel happy. Even I know that for me, it's not happy. They feel satisfied with that, but for me, that is not satisfying for me. Kissing a boy is not satisfying for me. Yes, but uh, everyone has their own experience in the whole of their life, and I cannot blame them because my experience is different from them. So it's not what apple to apple for blaming each other. About the impact, firstly, we talk about the negativity. Yes, we know that we have a lot of problem. Seems like about the reproductional problems, when the whole of the people all around the world, those of them are LGBTQ, and so we will maybe we will suffering the problem of the what we do not have the new descendant. But on the positivity is, because it is a challenge, it will make the researcher more more happy for facing it and trying how to solve it. So it's gonna be a huge homework for the researcher, and that is one of the positivity, because they love the homework and what they struggle for finding the new thing and the new inventions. That is my opinion about the previous question. And how about the scientific research that pops up here is, yes, that is true, since uh, because of the sex that given when we born and the genetic code that we have when we born, we have what the expression of the specific hormone that is specialized in what in the one kind of the gender.
So I give one opportunity for Mr. Janil because I see you have raised your hand from last time.
Okay, if we are going to talk about the impact of LGBT marriage, homosexual marriage, I think we should rely on research. We cannot say how to give my opinions more. I think what you have written on your slide
is right. Scientific research has shown that sexual orientation is not something that we can change. Then we'll just let them marry each other, because the impact of same-sex marriage, I guess, is that there will be more people to be happy because they can marry the people they love. I think that's all. And I will try to stop being an LGBT if that is your suggestion. Thank you, Miss Rosa.
Okay, thank you. Okay, from the last, I have a little story about hemoprodit. I have one friend. He is very bad. I mean, very bad. He is have the black skin, so he is short and not handsome, but he is like girl. His behavior, then every day he makes up a skull, make up. But when I asked to him, how do you pray? And he tell me that if he prays, he use praying wheel and rapper. And it's so funny for me because he he wear sarong and mukena. I mean playing field, and he is working as PSK. It's so sad for me and very pity for his life like that, because that's in his economy he is poor, so hidden. Okay, from the last we can I mean start to be LGBT, so we can learn from this discuss that Allah give us opportunity to be perfect human, so we must do the best in our future. Okay, thanks very much for our discuss today. I'm so sorry that I have some mistake and apologies for all of I have made. Thanks very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wow, it's really interesting discussion or topic for all of you who have discussed or delivered for your opinions. Finally, you are really active in the discussion. But before we end the discussion tonight, I find several grammatical errors or several problems here. How to say problem how to say dilarang in English, forbidden. And also she loves, not he, because the position is in object, it should be him. She loves him. It's talking about the grammatical error. Not many person is singular, it means only one person. It should be many people, because people is more than one people. It's about the quantity. It's how to say Mr. Andres. Sorry. Guy. It's quite different, yeah. K and Kai. It should be K, not Kai. Guys, K, right? And also we can use the other way to say I think. It should. It looks like our speaking will be colorful. Not only I think. We can try to use I reckon, I suppose, I assume, in my opinion, as far as I know, in my point of view, and so on. Jadi bahasa Inggrisnya biar nggak cuma I think. There is progress. It's okay. We are learning each other. And also last time I found it tend, cenderung, tend, appear, or look. We can use nampak or terlihat. Last time someone mentioned nabi, you can say prophet. And the next one, that is the common mistakes that we found it. Not forgot, because forgot or forget are verb, so it should be I forgot or I forget. And the next one, Indonesian. If Indonesian is a person, if Indonesia is a country, so we have to differentiate it. And the next one, we're talking about pronoun. Yeah, pronoun. Not their selves, but themselves. Themselves. Yeah, themselves, not their selves. Okay, and also appearance, penampilan, legalitas, legality, not more happier. Happier, yeah, because two syllables, maybe it can be, but the common one is happier, not more happy. And also pekerja seks, I found it and I checked in the dictionary, hooker. But later I will send this case or these problems in our group. So before we close our discussion today, I please you, all of you, to open your camera, because we have to we have to document, we have to do documentation. Okay, I please you to open your camera, prepare your face, and good looking good looking face. Mr. Tommy, where is your good looking face? I'm really waiting. Okay, Miss Salma, are you ready? All right. Hello, hello. I don't know, my connection is stable or not. Are you ready, guys? Check, check, check. Mr. Andres or Miss Andres? No. It can transfer his genders. Okay, Miss Alma, Miss Ella, Miss Moon, Miss Vijayanti, can you try? Can you open your camera? Miss Uchi, hi, Miss Uchi. Why are you silent today? I'm really waiting for your perspective. Miss Aris, Miss Aris or Mr. Aris? Oh my God. Mr. Aris, okay. Andresan. Who is son? Who is son? Oh my God, my connection is not stable. Mr. Andres, can you help me to take a picture together? My connection is not stable.
Honestly, I'm using a mobile phone, so I cannot help you so much.
My connectivity is not stable. Mr. Tommy, hi.
Yeah, I will
open
my
picture, sir. Okay. The connectivity is not stable. Can you count it?
1, 2, 3. One more, yeah, one more. 3, 3, 3, 3.
3 period.
3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3.
What is the three? All right, thank you very much. And because we have Yel, when I say Otak community, all of you answer yesterday, you said tomorrow. Okay, are you ready, guys?
Ready, ready.
Okay. Otak
Okay, I'm
community.
ready. Yesterday.
Tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Q and Miss Rosa.
Everyone.
Thanks ever so much. Okay.